Hey everybody, Sean Holsinger here again from HolsingersFlyShop.com. Bringing you another tying video today. Dry fly today is what I'm tying, and it's a really cool one. It's Snowshoe and CDC Quill Gordon. And it's a couple things that I haven't shown you before, which is really cool. I'm using the CDC as a wing, the Snowshoe as my hackle, and natural quills, which a lot of times I use synthetic quills because I like them. They're a lot easier to work with, but natural quills make a really nice looking pattern. So I tie this in a couple different colors. I tie it in a tan color to make like a sulfur, and this one of course is my Quill Gordon pattern. So it's really cool to tie, and it floats like a cork. That's one thing a lot of people probably may not know if you're newer to tying. Snowshoe floats like a cork. It's really good stuff to use. And of course CDC with the right floating and stuff does too. So it's a good combination, and it's a natural looking pattern when you get it laying on the water. So give this fly a try. You're going to like it, and it's going to take a little practice. If you're newer to tying, it's definitely going to take some practice to get used to tying it. But it makes a really cool looking fly, and it'll look good in your box. So here it is, and the material list to tie it. Alright, here you see the fly in the vise. Really cool looking fly, and it floats really well. The Snowshoe, along with the CDC, this thing really floats. So let's get the hook in the vise. And for a hook, I'm using a 419 Firehole, size 12. And, you know, I love using Firehole hooks. There's really not much better when it comes to barbless, I feel. They're super sharp, or stupid sharp, as he likes to say. And so we're just going to put our hook in the vise there. The thread I'm using is a 140 Denier light gray, or dark gray, I mean, sorry. And then I'm going to use just a little bit of cocktail on here and to make the tail. And we're going to use, 6 or 8, I guess, fibers. Enough to make a visible tail back there. And we're going to tie that down on top. Check my length, which I want to be about the length of the hook shank. Alright, we're just going to tie that back to the back. Now, this is a quill body, and so I like to keep my quills thin. So I'm not going to overdo my wraps here. I'm just going to make that nice and smooth. That's one of the biggest keys, is making it nice and smooth. And now I'm going to take a Polish quill, and you can see they come with a little bit of the peacock still left on them. I'm just going to trim that off. And you can soak these. It'll make them a little bit more pliable. And we're going to wrap it down. And as I wrap it down, I'm going to get a little bit tighter where I start and looser towards the back. But you need it tight so it doesn't pull out. But you want it loose so you don't cut the quill as you're trying to wrap it. And then we're just going to stick our hackle pliers on. And we're going to start out lightly, not pulling very much, to get it started on here. Then once you get it started on, then you can add a little bit more pressure to it. But we're just going to continue to wrap these up, side by side wraps. Make that nice quill body look. Nice segmentation there. And it takes a little bit of time to do it this way, but you get a beautiful looking fly when you're done by using the natural quills. And we're going to wrap these the whole way up and then tie it off. I usually give her about 2 good wraps there and just pop it off. Okay, now I'm going to use a little bit of Solarized Bone Dry. And again, I don't want to build this up, but I do want to protect it. So I'm just going to use the least amount I can get on there. There we go. And then we're going to hit it with our light to seal it. That's going to protect our quills, keep it from, you know, getting caught on the fish's teeth and tearing it up. Now, next thing I'm going to use is some CDC. This is Light Dun. To make this Quill Gordon, I want dun colored wings. And the CDC is going to make the wings of this fly. And I'm going to take, with this CDC, I'm going to take about 3 or 4, depending on how thick your CDC is. I want it to be nice and kind of thick. And I'm going to stack all my ends up together. And then I'm just going to pull this all together. And this is going to be my wing on the fly. Now, when I set it on here, I'm going to set it on here where I want to cut it. And I'm just going to use the ends of this, the tips of it, and we're going to tie it down right in here behind the eye. Make a soft wrap and then 2 or 3 harder wraps there to hold it in place. And you see that's just about the length of my body. Okay, that's the length that I want it. Now the next thing I'm going to use is a snowshoe rabbit's foot. Okay, and where we're going to cut off of it is, you see this is you see his claws there. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm using from the other end, and I'm using this hair on the bottom side. This is the hair that's going to float real well. It's tons of guard hair. I'm just going to pinch a clump of it and get down low and cut that clump out, okay? You're going to see you're going to have a lot of the little fluff feathers, so I'm just going to take my dubbing brush and I'm just going to brush those fluffy feathers, the fluffy fibers out there. And then I'm going to set that down to the side here for a second. Now, the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to split my thread. And I'm going to take my my bodkin, let's use the smaller one, and I'm just going to take the thread and I'm going to rub the thread with my bodkin. What that's going to do is that's going to flatten out this thread a lot. And then I can take and easily stick my bodkin in between the two and split my thread to get a split thread dubbing loop here. Then we're going to take the snowshoe that we cut off. I'm going to place it between those thread fibers. And I'm going to tighten it up the best I can. And I'm going to spread these fibers out so it makes a nicer loop. It gives me a little bit longer loop. Alright, once we get them spread out, then I'm just going to twist my thread and lock all that in place. Now I'm going to shorten it up a little bit so I get a better twist. And usually I twist it about 3 good times here. Okay, now that's a little thick, so I'm just going to brush it out just a little bit, get those nice guard hairs being the ones that's left in there. You can see there you got a nice dubbing brush with nice snowshoe guard hairs. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wrap it in here, then I'm going to lift up my CDC, and I'm going to make at least 2 wraps behind it to hold up that wing. And I want to, as I'm doing it, I want to make sure this stays on top. Alright, and then we're just going to wrap back up here to the eye and tie it off. Okay, come in here with a whip finish. Oops. Okay, I want to put one more on there. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn it upside down and I'm going to tease all these onto the top. I want this to float on the top, and I'm going to take and I'm going to trim the bottom side off, okay? That is going to allow this to float and look leggy. As you can see here now, you got these legs kind of sticking out with the snowshoe hair. It's going to lay nice and flat on the top of the water. That's the way you want it to ride. And like I said, a little bit of floating, some high and dry on that, and it's going to float like a cork. You're going to love using this fly. So there it is, the Quill Gordon Snowshoe and CDC. Okay, hope you liked that. It was, you know, not the easiest pattern that I've tied on video before, but Definitely not, probably not the toughest either, but it's a lot of fun and it makes a cool looking pattern when you're done. And it's good to fish too. So give this one a try, you're gonna like it. And like I said, it'll look cool in your box. And the materials you need to tie it, you can find in the description down here at the bottom. Also, another thing I wanted to let you know, I am starting to sell my flies on our website now too. So some of the ones from the videos will be on there. And we put a new page on our new improved website. That's another thing I wanted to point out to you guys. We just updated our website, and I think it's a little bit more user-friendly. There's links to my videos on it, so you can go right to my YouTube page and find all my videos. And I really hope you like it, guys. Holsingersflyshop.com. But like I said, any of the materials you need to tie this one, you can find in the description, and with links to all the materials. So go there and order away, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I enjoy bringing these to you. Thanks for giving me all the comments, and try to get back to them right away. And it's a lot of fun, guys. Thanks for letting me bring these to you, and for supporting me and, you know, encouraging me. Until next week, guys, I'm Sean Holsinger.